YouTube? This is Cover the Credits, and we are back and have more movies. We got a lot of movies today. We're actually going to do a ton of movies.
So, around where we are, they'll do certain, like, one-night only showings for movies. And one of the companies that does Fathom events, they'll put on concerts, and they'll do the old movies, like right now. They're part of the group that they're showing Thelma and Louise. It's the 25th anniversary in theaters for 2 nights, something like that. They're going to be showing the first Planet of the Apes movie for 2 nights. And Warner Brothers just released on DVD, I think as of Tuesday, you could get it, a cartoon version, an animated version. Because to me, this is far from a cartoon. It is, but you know what I mean. Of the classic Batman one-off comic book, The Killing Joke. Now, this is not a Batman cartoon to get for kids. This is not. It's not a kid's cartoon.
Everyone talked about how evil and dark and horrible it was going to be, and I didn't really see it.
I mean,
maybe I've been corrupted by the internet generation.
Now, also, though, this was the first time you had seen it. Mm-hmm. You'd not read the book. You just had seen this. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Now, preface, if you've read the book and not seen the movie, they do add a bit before the start of the comic to give the relationship, well, and that's part of an issue that people have. Because, let me finish my first thought. To give a little backstory into Barbara Gordon's life before everything starts. Now, the problem with that is when you think of Batman and his relationship with, let's say, Batgirl and Robin, what do you think of that relationship? In what way do they have a relationship?
That would be the student-teacher relationship.
A parental, almost, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that goes out the window in this. That's where people were like, but listen.
He's a millionaire playboy.
No.
What do you expect?
No, because he's not. He's not. You know why? When he has the cowl on, he's not a millionaire playboy. The whole.
Did he keep it on the whole time?
Yes, I bet he did. Either way, there was a scene that a lot of people were upset about. I'm like, meh. They could have done that either way. It seemed weird to me because anytime you think of the youth in the Bat family, which now there is such a thing, there's no, like, it is a parental relationship. I'm just saying, to where that came across very odd. However,
I didn't think it was that odd. I thought it was pretty, it's
but you're also not in that, you don't pay that much attention to that world. Like, you're not in the comics that much.
My thing is, as someone who enjoys the relationship aspects of a lot of stories,
yeah.
To me, I'm a hardcore shipper, I will admit it.
Yep.
That makes me a giant nerd.
I know, that's okay.
I'm okay. I'm open.
Yep.
With my comic book sexuality.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Point being that, to me, instead of getting the retarded relationship build up through the whole freaking thing like we always do in every goddamn piece of media ever.
But this, we know, wouldn't have had that.
Yeah, no. But it's more like, oh, hey, you're pissed off, I'm pissed off, let's and you might have to edit that out.
Yeah.
But my point is that sometimes this is how it happens.
Look, okay, and I'm not against that. I understand that.
And I like what it did to the dynamic where everything's all awkward. They're like, I don't know, you don't know what the fuck's going on.
But it also caused an abrupt end.
Yeah, that made it work.
I
think it added to
the overall story.
I'm not sure it added to the story, but it added depth to the characters that I think assisted with the story.
It made a few things odd. One, because we really never get how Batman is in that whole thing. He never addresses any of that. You know what I mean? He kind of acted like it didn't happen. He kind of was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But I can see both sides. As someone who follows a lot of and again, this is a one-shot, so it shouldn't matter because it doesn't have anything to do with continuity. And if you're confused by that, you show how much
everyone was.
You show how much really? You're confused by that statement?
I'm confused by everything.
Let me explain it then.
I live my life in confusion.
Let me explain this then, okay. So in comics, there can be multiple comics going on with the same character involved. Let's say you have Batman and Batman in one, it's just Batman. You might have a Batman and Robin comic that's just that Batman. Now, when Batman solo comic goes from the beginning to the end, there's a continuity in that story. Now, that does not mean that continuity is the same as in Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. To where a one-shot it's a solo book.
It's not canon.
It's not canon. There you go. That's the easiest way to say it. So I guess that's the easiest way for people not to be so pissed off that that relationship happened. But
second question.
Okay, bring it on. I should have. I didn't have to talk to you afterwards. So
it shows her at the end where she's Oracle.
Yes. Spoilers.
So did he just throw her over then because she's crippled now? That's my question.
What do you mean? For the relationship?
Yes.
I told you it was like it didn't happen.
I'm just saying, man. That's cold.
Well, but I think the problem there is that's part of the issue because they would have had to added something with Batman dealing with her, and that doesn't happen. And truthfully, in the book, I don't think any of that's there. They don't show her again. That when they're laughing at the joke at the end and it's raining, that's it. That's the end of the book. So,
well, that's a much better end of the story than where they ended it in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why they put that in there, really.
What, in the book?
In the movie.
In the movie, with the laughing or the Oracle thing?
The Oracle thing.
I think it was just to tie it up, to make people think that there wasn't they didn't just leave Barbara in the hospital.
They gave her a semi-happily
They gave her a happily ever after.
A quasi-happily ever after.
She still gets the help. That's what she wanted. She wanted to be a part of everything. Now she is. Granted, she's not going to be on the rooftop taking her clothes off anymore, but I guess you could if there's an elevator. So, no, that's a bad joke. That's getting cut. That's getting cut so bad. Okay, so back to what we were saying. One thing I really enjoyed about this was they got Kevin Conroy and...
That's terrible. Okay.
I might leave this in, but the joke that I said to get in to do this cackling like this, I'm not leaving it at all.
You definitely have to.
I'm not leaving that in at all. There's no way.
It's so glorious, though.
Oh, man. If that gets left in, all of this is too, because they're going to see the regret on my face. I'm like, I
regret nothing. Anyway,
okay, wait.
So we should probably actually talk about that movie some at some point.
Okay, that's what. Well, I don't want to. I mean, I guess it's old enough. We're not going to spoil it. So,
how was the animation? Let's start there.
Okay, the animation to me was different than a normal cartoon. Mm-hmm. It was literally like they took frames from the comic and just animated some movement. Because it was choppy at times. There were times where things seemed like they were moving weirdly. Mm-hmm. But I think that's because they wanted to keep so close to what you see in the comic that made sense. Did that bother you, or what did you think of the animation?
I thought it was fine. Well, like I said, it wasn't... If you've watched, modern anime...
Yeah, kind of...
you can kind of see how the visuals have gotten really, really, really good, and to me this one wasn't really quite there.
But I think it was supposed to be.
But, like I said, I think it sort of adds to that comic book sort of grim, dark feel.
Now here's my question. Is it the visual, or is it the movement that you had the qualms with?
Like I said, it's not that it was bad. It's just that it wasn't quite. It was a little rougher around the edges.
I think they did that too because they wanted to keep. They wanted it to look as close to the same visually as they could. I think.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't have a problem with it, and they could have definitely done it for a reason. I just didn't think it was quite up to what I would call modern animation snuff.
Yeah. I think they tried to keep it to look a little bit close to the original art by, I believe, Azzarello. I'm not 100% on that.
Like I said, it looked good, and like I said, it worked. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you want to get into the story and talk about things you liked and didn't like?
I don't really need to.
Okay.
Like I said, they kept it all pretty good.
Quick flip. It was moving.
And like I said, overall, solid. I didn't like it as much as Stairs liked it.
But I'd also read the thing before and knew the story a little.
Stairs is a huge comic book guy. And
especially Batman. Well, and Batman's my guy. Like, that's the top of the
he's got all the old school obscure crap.
Yeah. Take a look at my Instagram. You'll see that I enjoy Batman.
Yeah, like I said, to me, it was good. It wasn't great. Was it worth the $13 freaking I paid for it?
Here's my thought with that.
I should probably bought the DVD instead.
Here's my thought with that. It's the only time it's going to be in theaters, really. That's the only reason I'm thinking it was worth seeing it.
I've spent more money doing dumber things.
Being in Pekin, smaller than Peoria, there was still over 100 people in the theater.
Yeah, it was packed.
Like, well, something that with that theater though is very strange. Nobody wants to sit in the front half of the theater, when really, even those seats aren't bad seats.
No, we always sit in the front.
Yeah, but
we
I mean,
sit
like,
in the back row of the front.
But still, to where like it was down to maybe 10 minutes left before the movie came on, and then we were still the only people in the front half of the theater. They just piled in back there.
There must have been like 3 seats left up there.
Yeah, it was packed.
And half the theater was just fucking empty.
It was packed, but there was still over. I mean, I think that's a 200 capacity theater. And more people filed in. There were people in the front once it started. Really cool intro by Mark Hamill. Did you like that? I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Kind of him talking through some of his career stuff. And then at the end, they did a little documentary talking about what and how they decided on the music, because obviously a comic book doesn't have music. And then the music number in the comic, and it was pretty interesting to see. It was kind of
like I said, overall, definitely
night.
A cool experience.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was overall a positive. I think. Like I said, the movie itself, I'm gonna give it probably a 7. I'd give it the 7.5 bump, but we don't do halves anymore, so I'm gonna give it 7.
I
don't think it quite deserves a bump to 8, but I've given worse things than probably an 8. So, like I said, it's right there on the borderline for me anyway.
And I'd probably be right there, either a 7 or an 8. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. I knew the story, so I'd seen things. I knew it was kind of coming. I enjoyed seeing the stuff beforehand. That was interesting. And even the thing at the end. And my thing was, I enjoyed the ambiance of the people, and I enjoyed the intro.
Yeah, like I said, overall, it was a really cool experience.
Yeah.
Just to go and to see and to be there.
And no qualms about this. If you're looking to find good comic book animation, Warner Brothers is destroying Marvel. They have, whether it's just in Batman or you start looking at like the Justice League stuff, if you ever want to look into some good cartoons, look into Warner Brothers Animation. They do great work. And whether it's TV or movies, Mask of the Phantasm is still one of the best animated comic book related things that's been out for, and it's been out for a long time.
Speaking of DC animation, are they doing a second season of What'd The chick who turns into animals?
Vixen?
Yes.
I would assume, I'm not 100% on that. Well, we saw her in Arrow, so maybe she'll show back up or show up on like Legends tomorrow.
I never watched that.
Either way, so you see what we thought. This would be something, if you're interested in, or if you know the comic, get the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
Blu-ray, get it, whatever you watch, get it. It'd definitely be worth getting.
Yeah.
So, until next time, like, subscribe, share this if you've got any buddies who are comic book nerds or Batman nerds. We kind of fall into both. I fall into both. And until next time.
Thanks for staying till after the credits. One more thing.
Oh.
The joke at the end, I totally did not get.
Okay. The joke at the end is, this is an after credits. You got an after credits scene. It is, and I want to see if I remember this from memory. 2 men in an insane asylum decide they don't like living there. Decide to break out one day. They get to the roof. They look out, and just past a small gap, there's just a string of rooftops and the moonlight. So they know they get across this little gap, they can be free. One guy, no hesitation, jumps the gap. Fine. No problem. Second guy wouldn't dare jump. He's afraid he'll fall. First guy says, that's fine. I have a flashlight. I'll shine it on this beam and you can come across. The guy goes, what do you think, I'm crazy? If I start across the beam, you'll just turn the light off. You don't get it?
I don't get it.
He thinks the beam would disappear when you turn the light off.
That's stupid.
It's the lunatic of the Joker talking about two crazies. That's the point.
I don't understand the joke. I understand the joke now, and it's a bad joke.
It is a bad joke.
At the time, I missed the whole point of it because I didn't understand.
And then you looked quizzically at me because it ends with them laughing in the rain at each other.
Well, that part I understood, which was kind of cool. But
well, if you get the joke,
if you're a Joker, you gotta come up with a better joke than that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Bring your joke A game.
I mean, you could have just said, you want to see a magic trick, but there wasn't a table there. That's another Joker reference.
And another bad joke.
I mean, yeah. You could have also said the whole, like, you were dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight. That's a third Joker reference.